Okay, so I just got done with a Barry's boot camp class. I normally work out at home, but this week has been such a crazy week at work. January and February is our company's budgeting season because our fiscal calendar runs April through March. I'm on the finance FP&A team, and so this time of year we're prepping our annual operating plan for the upcoming fiscal. So it's just been kind of a crazy ass few weeks, and I have not been able to get my normal workouts in the morning because I've just had a lot of back-to-back meetings and things. So I was glad I was able to get in my workout at Barry's Boot Camp. It is Friday, 4:30 p.m. This is downtown Austin. You know, the more time I spend here, the more I really love Austin. It is not a bad place. Okay, one of my favorite things about the Tesla is that it has dog mode. So I'm taking care of this little guy, and you can see dog mode basically set the screen to read my driver will be back soon, and it maintains climate control in the car. So excited to see him. Come here, sweetheart. All right, so it is Saturday morning. I just woke up. I'm gonna make my smoothie, get my coffee going to start the day. All right, coffee grinds in the French press. About 3 tablespoons is what I add. Mix with a wooden spoon. So in my smoothies, I put kale, apple, orange, ginger, turmeric, peanut butter, chia seeds, frozen banana, as well as protein powder. So I'm going to grab my Ninja. I've actually been looking for a bigger Ninja cup because this one is so small that it doesn't fit everything I need all in one sitting. I have to like blend them separately. So first I'm gonna put about 50 grams of kale. It's probably a little bit more than 50, but that's okay. All right, got my orange I'm gonna peel. I just really like making smoothies. I think it's a really easy way to get a good amount of produce, like fruits and vegetables, in for the day. I mean, I really don't think I would be eating all of these individually if it wasn't for a smoothie. Got my orange, good source of vitamin C. I'm putting this whole orange in here. Then I've got my apple that I store in these stasher bags. I really like these stasher bags. This one probably is like 12 or 13 bucks, but they're really great quality. You can toss them in the freezer, you can toss them in the dishwasher, and I just really like using them as opposed to the single-use plastics or the saran wraps and things like that. Okay, cutting my apple. I realize I'm cutting it in a weird way. Some water. So this is what I mean by the Ninja cup gets full so fast. I still have so many other ingredients I need to add. So what I do is blend things separately. Right, so now that this is blended up, as you can see, it creates room at the top for me to add other things. So I'm gonna add some frozen banana chunks. I don't add a lot, usually just like 30 or 40 chunks, or 30 or 40 grams, excuse me. I'm gonna cut up some ginger and turmeric. So I like using fresh ginger and fresh turmeric. So this is the turmeric chunk. I'm just gonna toss that in there, and then I just cut off a piece of the ginger. And I like to add some black pepper because black pepper helps with the absorption of turmeric. All right, and then some chia seeds. Chia seeds are a really great source of healthy fats. So I add about a quarter or about a half a tablespoon. Then I'm gonna put some peanut butter, another source of healthy fats. I usually add about like a quarter tablespoon. Need some ice. And then I also put in about a scoop of vanilla protein powder. So I use this brand called Levels. They have grass-fed whey protein powder. I get the vanilla flavored And this whole tub, this 5-pound tub, costs about $60. So I'm gonna add a scoop here. A scoop of protein powder typically gets me about 25 grams of protein in my smoothie first thing in the morning, which is awesome. Okay, so my smoothie is done. So good. I love adding the ginger because the ginger gives it a really nice zesty, kind of like zingy flavor. Alright, so coffee is ready now. I usually like adding some almond milk to my coffee. Okay. I do add creatine powder to my coffee as well. I usually add some collagen too, but I ran out of the collagen. I actually did purchase a new tub. I have it here, I just haven't unboxed it. So, all right, I got my coffee, I got my smoothie, I got my water, and I am ready to start the day. All right, so I'm gonna show you my morning skincare routine. So what I do in the mornings is I use this Timeless Vitamin C Serum, then I apply my CeraVe moisturizer, and then last I apply my sunscreen. So I've been keeping up with my morning routine. I have taken a break from my typical nighttime routine. At night, I'm just simply washing my face and applying moisturizer because I am scheduled to get a brow ombre done in a few weeks. And with the brow ombre, you're not supposed to use any acids or retinol and things like that for a few weeks leading up to the appointment. So as of late, my skincare routine has just simply been vitamin C, moisturizer, face wash, and sunscreen. Here's the vitamin C that I use. It's Timeless 20% vitamin C ferulic CE acid. So I just apply a couple pumps to my hand. Don't forget your neck. I don't wash my face in the mornings. I only wash my face at night. It's just a personal preference of mine. If you are interested in hearing about my normal skincare routine, I recorded it entirely in a podcast episode. I'll link that in the show notes, so if you want to listen. Next is my CeraVe face moisturizer. All right, now I'm gonna apply my sunscreen. I like using this Ulta MD broad spectrum SPF 46, so I just apply a fingertip. So I always try to wait a few minutes in between each treatment, just so that you allow the skin to fully absorb each product. Okay, and then don't forget your hands. I do sit near a window in my bedroom, so gotta make sure your hands are protected, your neck, anything that's being exposed to sunlight. So I normally don't do any kind of work on the weekends, especially Saturdays. I try to just make the weekends be completely rest time. Like I was saying earlier, I just had like such a crazy week at work, and then the weekend prior we were in Utah for a ski trip. And so I just kind of feel like I'm behind on a lot of things. I usually use the weekdays, like the weekday mornings from 6 to 8 a.m., 8:30 a.m. for my creative stuff, whether that's podcasting or newsletters or anything of that nature, handling administrative things in the back end. My creative brain just like works best first thing in the morning, but I'm just so behind on a lot of things. So this morning I'm going to work on some podcast editing. I need to respond to a bunch of people, just coordinating upcoming guests, coordinating recordings with them, sending out some podcast sponsorship agreements, drafting the newsletter, and things like that. So I'm going to spend the next couple of hours getting in some work. All right, so it is Saturday, 5 p.m. I'm picking up my groceries. I always do curbside pickup from a grocery store in Texas called HEB, which is amazing. Once we get home, I will share my grocery haul. Curbside pickup is seriously the bomb.com. They come and load everything into your trunk. So these are my groceries for the week. I think in total I spent about $50. So over here I have all of my produce. I have spinach. I'm gonna make some Big Mac salads this week for lunch. I have kale for my smoothies. I've got some cilantro and parsley because I wanna make stuffed mushrooms this week for Valentine's Day, and I want to use the parsley for that. We've got bananas and then more fruits over here. So mangoes, I saw mangoes were on sale, some avocados, onions, cucumber, bell pepper, and some tomatoes. And then my meats here, so we've got ground chicken breast as well as ground beef, and then we've got just this huge block of cheese and this coffee creamer. This is vanilla coffee creamer. I wasn't expecting it to be so huge. I usually get almond milk, but I thought this would be fun to try for coffee this week. I've got some mushrooms, pickles, and some protein pasta. Okay, so you can see over here, I have a lot of produce. I always try to make sure my fridge is just stocked with lots of fresh fruit, fresh vegetables. One of the best things we can do for our bodies is just to take care of it. I don't really buy into like the idea of supplements or anything like that for the most part. I think there's so much BS that's out there in terms of what manufacturers are allowed to market on their products. None of the supplements are regulated by the FDA or any other kind of agency. So at the end of the day, when it comes to supplementation, marketers can literally write whatever they want. There's so much stripping that happens, so many like phytonutrients and zoonutrients that are lost in the manufacturing process. And so I'm just a big believer that we should all be first doing as much as we can to get our nutrients from real foods before resorting to supplements and things like that. So one of the things that I like to do to get ready for the week is chop up all of my kale that I'm going to use for smoothies. So I just kind of prefer buying the loose kale and then washing it myself and cutting it up. I just put it in the colander, rinse it, and then store it in this tray, glass container tray, and then I just pull from that throughout the week. I'm gonna run it through the sink once more, just to make sure all the dirt and anything else from the earth is gone. And then we're good. So I'm gonna do the same thing with the bunch of spinach that I bought. So I normally don't buy spinach and kale in the same week. It's usually just one or the other because I typically just use the greens for my smoothies. But this week I really have been craving like a Big Mac salad. So I needed some extra greens for that. Okay, I'm gonna put everything into this colander. So I have all of my greens cut, and then I'm just gonna transfer it over into these glass containers. It's just a personal preference of mine to buy loose greens. I think it's a lot cheaper. So in total for all of these greens, I paid $3 maybe. Whereas if I had purchased the packaged containers in plastic, it would have been probably like $8, $7 to $8 for all of this. And I also think it's just better for the environment because less plastic and packaging and things like that. So, oh shoot, I actually meant to put the spinach in here. Now my greens are prepped for the week. One other thing I also do is freeze all of my bananas for the week. So I basically peel them, chop them into chunks, and put them in my reusable stasher bags and freeze them. So that is what I'm gonna do. This kind of bunch of bananas will typically last me about 2 weeks. Yeah, two and a half weeks maybe. So I love adding frozen bananas to my smoothies because it gives it a really nice frosty-like texture. Okay. I wish we had compost in Texas, but we do not. So this, make sure it's nice and tightly sealed. And that's it. We're about to get into our first driverless car. So every driverless cruise car has a name. Our car's name was Mesa, and this is him pulling up.
So unlock doors, okay. Press this, unlock doors.
Nice, there's no one in here. Okay, and I'm gonna get in first. Say hi, Java. So when do you have to tell it to go? Or does it know? As soon as everyone's seatbelt's on, or what?
It's just my seatbelt on.
And then we started our drive around downtown Austin. I think this was definitely one of the coolest experiences I've ever had. I think these cars are the way of the future. If you think about how many accidents happen on a yearly basis due to distracted drivers, drunk drivers, I definitely think robot driverless cars are a lot safer for society as a whole. What happens if you need help? Is there a button to ask for assistance?
Yeah. So you can call assistance. Also, anytime
through the monitor, okay.
Yeah, anytime that the car goes into a place where it can't deploy a route, it'll automatically call remote assistance. You can override that and speak to an operator. 3.5 years of my work and many other people's as well.
Fully self-driving car. So we are training for our half marathon. This is Sunday morning. We're gonna try to hit 9 miles today. This is a view of downtown Austin as I'm running. Kind of a foggy day.
When I see them, and you need this. When I know. This message is for you.
I just went through the McDonald's drive-thru for this cone. So yummy. So I wanted to talk about something that I think is really important. You're seeing that I'm eating this McDonald's soft serve cone. As much as I'm big on like eating healthy and living a healthy lifestyle and eating nutrient dense foods and things like that, I also think balance is key, moderation is key. I think that telling yourself that you're never going to eat sugar or that you're never going to eat anything that is of an indulgent nature is just not realistic. I think it's really important to embody habits that you can stick to for a lifetime, right? I had Dee Gotham on my podcast a couple of weeks ago. And one of the reasons why I really admired her coaching program and her coaching philosophy is she's really big on this idea of building habits that are sustainable for the long run, right? I think the 80-20 rule is a really good way to kind of think about your diet patterns as a whole rather than looking at single foods in an isolated vacuum, right? Like if you're eating McDonald's soft serve ice cream every single day, or like, you're eating crappy foods like multiple times a day, that makes up majority of your diet patterns, like that is unhealthy. But if you're eating a soft serve cone, but that's part of a general diet pattern that is pretty like whole and nutrient dense, I think incorporating something like this actually contributes to an overall well-rounded, healthy lifestyle. Cheers. So I have a couple items I need to unbox. So I'm going to show you the first item. I believe this is the vitamin C serum that I ordered was this collagen powder. I think the jury is still out on whether collagen supplementation is useful. There is a lot of evidence and research on collagen in general being really a big contributor to good skin elasticity and youthful skin and all of that. But I think these studies are inconclusive on whether collagen supplementation specifically has an impact. I am such a sucker for good skin and good nails that I am willing to take the risk, and I figured it doesn't cost me a lot, and in the off chance that it does help, I'll really only know 10-20 years from now, and I'd rather just continue to incorporate it. I am really hungry after that long. So I'm just gonna make a quick sandwich. I've got these spicy black bean burgers, these thin round sandwich buns, some leftover cheese, and then I'm gonna put avocado, onions, cut up some cucumbers, and add some light mayo. So So even though it's past 1 p.m., I still have a little bit of leftover coffee. All right, so I have this plant-based burger bun that I'm creating. I'm gonna add some mayo. I really like this light mayo. 1 tablespoon has 35 calories. I'm gonna add some avocado. I do about 1 ounce of avocado. All right, we ran out of ketchup, but I do have these ketchup packets that I found in the fridge. Then I had some onions that I just fried in the pan. Okay, and just like that, my lunch is done. This was super easy to make. This probably took me less than 10 minutes. The patty was frozen, and then I just simply chopped up the cucumbers, and everything else was more or less assembling. My rule of thumb is I try to have at least one color via a fruit or a vegetable on my plate every meal. This doesn't happen every meal, but I try to make that the case majority of the time. Super delicious. All right, you guys, so I am gonna sign off. It is Sunday, it's 4 p.m. I'm just going to do some chores, do some laundry, and get ready for the week. I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog video. If you would like to see more videos, make sure you stick around. Thank you.